Hey YouTube, it's that dude named Dave and welcome to my channel. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Before we get started here, my price of admission, like, subscribe, and the bell notification below. You guys are watching my videos, but you're all not subbed yet. So let me help you by helping me out here and give you guys a few seconds to do this. Okay, we got that out the way, no long intros. Today's video, we're coming back to the late great Kevin Samuels. I know I haven't done any reaction videos on him since he's passed away, but you know what though? It is time because he has so much content and then there's so much things that we can use from his past videos. So today's video, can women handle the truth? So we're gonna get to the video. We're gonna let Kevin cook in. We know we're gonna make this make sense.
So when it comes to the question, why can't women handle the truth? I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think for women, how you deliver the message does matter. I think for any human, it matters how you deliver the message. I've learned that over my years. I like to be straightforward and to the point. And then as I got older, I realized just because you mean well and you say things that are factual doesn't mean people are going to receive them. And I learned that if you say them more diplomatically as well as more tactfully,
where'd you learn this at?
Really?
just life experience, just
First
regular.
off, how old are you? I didn't get that.
I'm 29.
29 years old. So, if we can just go ahead and whittle this down to the basics, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you tell people that are in massive denial? How do you tell a falling down alcoholic or leaning over heroin addict or fence climbing crackhead or meth addict that they need to stop that? How do you do that?
I've had those conversations where
Yeah. How do you do it though?
You just say it, I guess. That's true.
No. So you go and talk to him nicely. Yeah, you know that heroin you're slamming your veins is killing you. Tell me, come on, walk me through it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a personal experience with an alcoholic where I just said, you have to stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's hurting your family. It's hurting people that you love, and it's not
Did they
beneficial
stop?
to you.
Did they stop?
Oh, absolutely not.
Really?
Yeah, because
Okay. So no.
Seriously?
No, I'm just challenging what you're saying. So the loving approach didn't work. Okay. Then tell me what
I've
happened.
done it hard too.
Excuse me, but tell me what happens when you put an intervention in place and there are consequences behind that intervention.
No, I've never done that because
I have. See, I used to actually be an alcohol and drug counselor.
Mm-hmm.
See, what you're saying, man, doesn't work.
Wait, real fast here. Kevin's had a lot of jobs, and I know some people are going to dispute that who are his haters, and he's had several different professions throughout his career and his life here. I had no idea that he was a drug counselor. It makes sense the way he comes with his approach, the direct approach, how people think that he's too brash or he's bashing people or bashing women, but in actuality, it's a direct approach to trying to get results driven here. So it makes sense if that's actually one of his past professions here. Now let's let him continue and get back to the video.
It makes you feel better. It makes you feel better because you feel like you're being heard. You're not gaining compliance. They're not doing a doggone thing different. Do you have any children?
No.
I want you. Do you ever want to get married?
Yes.
You want children one day?
Of course.
I want you to go to your little boy when he's about 4 years old, and I want you to tell him, "Hey, Tom, I need you to clean your room and make your bed." And then when he doesn't do it for the 10th time, and then you realize that you're going to have to raise your voice and threaten to get in that ass, then realize what he does, then come back to me with that. Because what you're saying, man, makes the communicator feel better. Does it get the outcome?
Did you hear that question he pointed out there? It makes the communicator feel better, not the person who's needing help here. that is a good point. I wanted to pause that to drive that home here. Let that marinate. Comment section, what you think about that here. Let's pick it back up now.
But isn't that kind of what you're trying to do, is to get the outcome of Black women being better for Black men?
Right. And we've communicated the way you're talking about for all my lifetime, and Black women have gotten worse. Is that, ma'am, is that even up for dispute? Do you know your grandmother and great grandmother?
No.
Did you know your grandmother?
No.
Do you know women? How old is your mother?
My mother passed away.
How?
Oh.
When I was
29?
like, yeah, I'm 29, so she passed away like when I was 3 or 4.
Do you know any women in the 75-year-old or older range?
Yes.
You know women in the 80-year-old range?
No.
The women in the 75-year-old range. Well, maybe you just don't have any point of reference. But today's modern woman is nowhere near as serious as the women used to be.
Okay.
And the point is, because those women didn't balk at the realities of life. They had real problems, real segregation, coloreds only. And we talk about outcomes. When you went to church, there wasn't this prosperity gospel. It was fire, brimstone, Old Testament, you're going to hell. You can't be up in the church with 3 kids by 4 different dudes sitting on the front row talking about have mercy, Lord. No, you're a hoe.
Boy.
What does it make you? This is the church we talk about, ma'am. Why you say, oh my God? This is the church we're talking about.
Those are facts here, because I paused that for a reason. 3 kids by 4 different men, and it's okay. We don't want to have people feel accountable for their actions. Like say, Stevie said, oh boy, but we know if you was in the church, showing my age here, or any other religious functions here that are very conservative, that go by the Bible standards here, because so many people claim to be Christian. Now, we know that a lot of people are not Christian, but here in the United States, this is a Christian country here. So we have taken away shame. We have taken away accountability here. And so that's one of the biggest problems that Kevin is trying to drive home here. Looks like he's about to go on a little rant here to spit some actual factual information here. So let's continue.
I'm aware that I think the
So
difference.
what's the old Lord? What's the old? So what should we do? When I'm gonna come up in the church of 4 kids or 3 kids by 4 men, or 4 kids by 3 men? What are we supposed to do?
I know that's kind of how it was, but I think the shift to not do that is so people don't despise you. A lot of people that I know,
okay.
Oh,
And
wow.
how is the
You
Black
hear that?
community today? Do you think the Black community is better off today in 2021 or back in 1951?
Before she answers that, I want my comments section to answer that here. This is a real older recording from 2021, but in 2022, is the Black family in the Black community doing better now, or better say 1952 here? Let's adjust it here for my recording date here. I want to see in the comments section what you guys think about that here. Now let's get her answer.
I mean,
What do you think?
pro-Blacks. I would say 1951. At least people were together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's when we had all that stuff that made people despise you. But we also had some standards. We didn't have women arguing about wearing goddamn bonnets and flip-flops and house shoes and everybody else's hair sticking out their head.
Right.
Okay.
Man, we have no standards in our community.
No, we don't.
And the very people who are supposed to teach the standards, communicate the culture, are who does that in the human race? Is it the male or the female?
Good question.
Who
The first teacher of the
communicates-
child.
Oh, the mom.
The first teacher of the child is a communicator and teacher of the culture. Huh?
I would say the mother.
Yeah, so who teaches the culture?
The Black women.
The mother of every culture. So what is our culture?
in the comments section. You notice that I'm coming back to you guys here. What is our culture? I want to see what you guys think here. We haven't had these discussions since he's passed away here, so we're having the deep dive here. We're noticing that he's not being rude to her. He's not being mean. This is a good, civilized conversation where he's bringing up tropes and information within the Black community. So I want to know what your comments on this particular question here. Back to the video.
Can't tell me nothing. Yeah, can't tell me nothing. Only God can judge me. I can do what I want, my best life.
That's what.
Are Black women actually doing okay these days? I mean, let's just look at some stats. 8 out of 10 Black women are overweight. And 80% of that number is obese. 1 out of 4 Black women can expect to marry in their lifetime. The average earning of a Black female in this country is $27,800. 80% of all Black children are born outside of wedlock. Black women divorce at a rate twice as high as they marry. All of these numbers are irrespective of who a Black woman is with. It is period.
You know what? I've stopped it there. We've repeated these stats here. These are some for my new subscribers here, people who watch my videos for the first time. And I just want to give a level set here where I literally try to give these stats to my own family the other day. And people do not want to listen to numbers. That's why I paused it there to understand that. If you need to rewind that part there, this is true information. You can go by the CDC. And my family say, well, I don't believe the CDC. Okay, then who do you believe here? Well, you know what Kevin Samuels went to? As us Black people, you don't want to believe the CDC? Why don't we go to a Black organization? BlackDemographics.com. Statistics that show Black people by Black people here. If you don't want to believe stats, then we don't know what to tell you. But these are true numbers. And only way we have these conversations to find the solutions to the problem is to talk about the problem here. So let's let Kevin Samuels continue on these numbers here and get back to her.
Statistically, regardless as to who the mate is at the bottom. And when you go out in the world, are you seeing Black women winning as the norm or losing?
Comment section.
I mean, I have a small circle. So the women that I'm around.
I said, when you go out in the world,
even when I go out in the world,
as you go out in the world, I don't mean your circle, not anecdotal.
Yeah. When I go out into the world, I see women go out. I see them travel. I see them enjoying.
Are they winning? Or are they losing?
Direct question, direct answer.
Or enjoying life or winning.
You're not going to slide around me that way. I'm going to do it one more time. Then I'm going to apply more pressure. I asked a very specific question. If you're going to play with.
I paused that there because I want to showcase Kevin's technique. He is very direct, but he is straight to the point and wants a direct answer. He didn't yell. He says, now I'm going to answer it again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to apply more pressure. I want to point this out for people in this detractors that want to say, oh, he's just a bad person. He's horrible. He don't know how to talk to people here. This is a civilized conversation. And sometimes you have to apply a little bit pressure to get what you want. We are all adults here. This is not a child he's talking to here. So let's remember that when people want to cape for women, let alone the fact that she is an adult. So why can't we have adult conversations, even if it makes us feel a little bit uncomfortable? That's the whole point to getting the solutions. Now let's get back to the video.
With me, I'll play with you. When you go out in the world, do you see Black women as the norm, winning or losing? Please don't play with me.
Like, I literally see Black women winning.
Then you're a damn fool.
Oh.
I mean, you could
all those statistics,
here it comes, y'all.
Yes.
From blackdemographics.com for Black statistics for Black people by Black people. That sounds like a winning formula. 1 in 4 married, 80% overweight, 80% of our children born out of wedlock. I mean, $27,800. That is winning.
No, you're right.
Ma'am, you go out into the world the rest of us go out into. And after every number I just gave you, you're still spouting this prosperity, the sky is beautiful bullshit. And that's the stuff that hurts our women. Women like you who refuse to acknowledge the truth.
I'm pausing again. Acknowledge the truth. pulled these stats up here. When we talk about 80% of Black women are overweight or obese. If you are looking for a husband and you know that men prefer fit, feminine, friendly women. Now, some women may say, oh, you know what though? Some guys like a little bit more push and a little bit extra meat. By you not being in your proper shape, by not being healthy as you are automatically eliminating so many men at your disposal that you could probably possibly date. But you guys are not understanding that there. I'm just using just one stat there. So there are other items that Kevin brought up here. I just wanted to point that out to let you know, see if you guys are listening. And also we need to do a deep dive to understand these problems, and we cannot gloss over it. We cannot say that winning if we're seeing stats that showcase losing and how we got to do better. Now let's get back to the video.
It's because you know if you, or because you see your anecdotal, when you look at the entire picture and you refuse to acknowledge the truth.
Yeah. No, I acknowledge your stats. I think.
No, it's not my facts. They're not my facts, ma'am. They are just facts.
Yes.
You see how that works?
What
They're
state
just
do you live
facts, not my facts, not Kevin's facts.
All over the place. I'm trying to move to Philadelphia.
What state do you currently live in?
New York, and I'm between New York and North Carolina.
New York City?
Long Island.
Long Island. So the Long Island, I'm sorry, man, it's one of the 5 boroughs. When I'm in New York, I walk around and I don't see Black women winning.
Do you? May sound harsh, but are they?
So maybe we have a different definition of what winning is.
Oh, boy.
Okay, let's look at it this way.
Here we go.
Most women, by the time they're your age, are they of other races, are most married or single?
I presume they're married.
Well, according to the facts, the next lowest group of women that are married are white women, and rate of 54%. And the average marital rate is 27.8.
Let that settle in. I know I pause again. I know you guys hate my pausing, but it needs to marinate. The next hiring demographic is white women at 54%. Black women, now this is 2021 now, we're around 26 to 27% marriage rate. Roughly, when it averages out, 1 out of every 4 Black men will ever be married. Just want to point that out. Let's get back to the video.
27.8 years old. So most women by the time they're your age have a husband. So the average Black woman, 91% of Black women earn less than $75,000 a year.
Wow.
What is it? 50, let me pull up the number. 91% of that. So it's close, somewhere close to, yeah, let's pull up the exact number. But $75,000 a year, that's going to be enough to basically equate for 2 incomes, right?
Give or take.
Because the average Black man makes around $41,200. Let's say 17% of Black women earn $50,000 to $75,000. So 26% of Black women earn $50,000 or more. So that means,
before I let that settle in, let that stat settle in. Pause for the cause. For so many women that want to say they're doing great, they're bossed up and things of that nature. That's why we go to stats. That's why we want to see if people are capping or people are really doing what they're really doing here. Rewind that back if you need to. Let that marinate. Back to the video.
74%, 3 out of 4 earn less than $50,000. I've already run the numbers on that, man. Even if you live to be at the age of 85, you're going to have a shortfall of close to $1 million. If you can't even afford to live, how are you winning? You can't live.
I'm sorry for all the.
You can't.
Sorry.
You can't live. You can't win if you can't live. If 74% of Black women are making less than $50,000, how's that winning?
Exactly.
What is rent in New York, in Long Island?
I don't know, $2,000, $1,500.
$2,000.
least.
No, it's on $2,000 on the low side.
Mhm.
That's $24,000 a year. $24,000 a year. That's half of your pay if you're making $50,000.
Ridiculous.
So you got to have a roommate. Oh, that used to be called a husband. Please tell me how Black women are winning where you're at. I'm dying to know.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. We have different views of winning. My view of winning is seeing them happy, but you're saying that's like
happy?
Yes.
Happy. How are you happy? Living paycheck to paycheck, 80% overweight, 80% of that obese. You think Black women are happy when 1 in 4 report being on some sort of psych med?
Is that bad? Being on psych meds? Like that is a brain.
Holy Jesus Christ.
That's a brain thing.
Right.
Okay, I got to stop that part there. The point that Kevin was making here, there's nothing wrong with being on psych meds. The problem is how many women are on psych meds here. So we have an issue in our environment, in our culture, where that prescription medication, psych medication, things of that nature are on an all-time rise within women. So when we're talking about problems, then solutions here. And if women are on an all-time high on these antidepressant meds here, then we need to find out what exactly is happening here. What is that? Well, we're breaking down these numbers here that 80% of women are overweight and obese. How are you going to be at your best self if you are not physically up to par here? Not looking for a man, just in general here. We talk about the money aspect where he says that only 20% of certain women only make 50,000 or more. A stat that I want to give you is that the average woman only makes 37,200 a year. On average, we want to calculate everything. So when you look at that lower number on that here, when women are not making enough money, they're not marrying, the divorce rate is high, you're overweight, the psych meds are at a, people are using it at an all-time high here. How can you see women as being happy? This is what we're doing here. We're showcasing facts. We're showcasing information to showcase here. You cannot be happy. We cannot be winning if all these factors are happening. But if we go back 6 years earlier, we're not having these problems except for real racism, except for real inequality. Now we have inequality today, but the things that our grandparents and our great grandparents dealt with is not on the same line that what we're dealing with today. Let's get back to the video.
Right. So you're saying today women are happy. Women today of all races report happiness being down, but in our community, it's at damn near critical levels. Excuse me?
Does it change based on age?
Yeah, the older they get, the worse it gets. The happiness curve for women and men invert at age 40. At 48, it drops off the cliff.
Wow.
Whatever purple Kool-Aid you're drinking, man, you need to stop.
And for every other woman out here too.
You live in Long Island and you report because you see people walking around. Okay. So what you're basically trying to say is an average Black woman earning $50,000 or less, 8 out of 10 are overweight. May have a child, may not have a child, but if they do have a child, 80% of those have no father in the household. So you're talking about a woman who's overweight, a child making less than $50,000 a year. She's happy.
I want to pause the video there. Let that marinate. I'll post the link in the description below. This actually went a lot longer. I mean, he talked to her for about a good 40 minutes. So if you guys are interested in the part 2 to see the continuation with that, I have no problem doing that. Comments or email me here. But why did I bring this video here outside the fact that I have not done a Kevin Samuels reaction in a long time? He was just trying to have a good, hard conversation. He wasn't disrespectful, but he understood that she was ignorant. When we say ignorant, not knowing the essence of the information that he is speaking of here, not knowing all the data, stats that he's bringing within our community here. She is walking around blindly thinking that is happy, and she's a young woman, of course. So when we're young, we have liberal thoughts and we don't see the whole totality of the world. And he's giving information and in a direct approach to saying, look, this is not good. How are we happy? How are we winning? What do we need to do to get better? This was not a bashing session. This was not him being disrespectful, but this is just a cold, hard talk to talk about the real facts here. And so this is why we miss Kevin, because we're not seeing this happen on a daily basis because of the fact he's not here. And that we have so many people who want to be snowflakes, who doesn't want to hold people accountable, who don't want to actually make people feel a certain type of way because, oh, I hurt that person's feelings. No. Kevin Samuels about results. Whatever needs to be done, we need to get it done, because here in our Black community, we're seeing so many problems. We're seeing so many issues, and we got to do what we got to do to correct it. Otherwise, like you said, we're at critical levels. The one thing that I bring to these videos here is that even though Black people are having these problems and we're at critical levels, this is a huge problem throughout the entire United States within all modern women here. We're seeing men having issues here, and we're bringing it to the forefront so that we can have these conversations, so that men are not being bogged down or not being told that, look, you're weak or you're not strong or you just need to deal with it. No, we have to come together to talk about the problems, understand the problems, go through statistics, and then we can find solutions. But if we want to go straight to the solutions, we're never going to get to the problems here. And so that's what Kevin Samuels was teaching here within the Black community, regardless of what people want to be his distractors. But this video showcases that he really loved his Black people, and all he wanted was success. Comment, like, subscribe, click on that bell notification below. I want you to know about my commentary here on this video. What'd you think about our fallen soldier, Mr. Samuels here? And what'd you think about this woman here who called in, who seemed to be a sweet, good person here, who was very good in the back and forth here? But until next time, I'm that dude named Dave. See y'all later, YouTube world.